Hey Geminis and all seekers. So Gemini, we need to talk. This is an important conversation. It's not going to be an easy one, but will lead to ease. Okay? I am doing this because I give you the benefit of the doubt for, if you're here on this channel or anywhere in similar channels, spirituality, consciousness, etc. It's because you are on a journey of self-discovery, awareness, and growth. And we all know, Geminis or not, that it can be a very challenging journey, facing ourselves in the mirror and being honest and truthful with ourselves. We can't really resolve an injury that we don't acknowledge or heal a pain that we suppress, ignore, deny, right? So it's kind of like that, except a little harder. It's way easier to admit a scratch or an injury than it is to admit a character, behavioral aspect within us that we might not like or others might not like. Before I go into it, I'm going to start with what often leads to that aspect within Geminis. Because Gemini is an mutable air sign, very intellectual sign, educational communication sign. You're in the mind by nature, right? You're a thinker, you're a planner, you have acute understanding of details, multitasker, exceptionally talented, okay? But because you're so mind-oriented, and not just that, it's not like Aquarius and Libra, you have the duality, the Geminis, the twins. So there is the aspect of the right lobe and the left lobe, or should I say the right lobe versus the left lobe. A lot of times, that duality, these two aspects within you, the natural split, just by default from being a Gemini, isn't always unified or integrated. In fact, that is actually one of the biggest challenges, energetic goals and challenges with Gemini people, humans who come to this earth to master. Okay, so first of all, if you are challenged with the things I'm about to say, it's natural. Okay, it's not your fault. And there's also a reason why you can sometimes go there. Okay, which is my next thing to say, as a continuance to what I was saying about you being a sign of the mind and of the air element and of the thought. Often it makes it more challenging to be in the heart space, to be conscious of how you feel, because you tend to analyze it, right? You tend to intellectualize your feelings. So to be conscientious to how you feel, and even more so to act upon how you feel from the heart, because the mind tends to lead. So a grave importance for Geminis, in order to not go into that shadow default that you can have, is be constantly on top of your heart and in tune with your heart and how you truly feel. Not the ego, not the memories of how something made you feel, but the higher heart. Now, this is not a regular conversation about, you need to follow your heart. Of course, we all do. But specifically with you, when you ignore your heart, when you ignore your feelings, when you constantly just intellectualize your feelings. I'm not saying all of you do that, but for those of you, and you gotta be super patient with me right now as I'm walking you through this, because you will have your system trying to reject and resist the things I'm about to say because it's unpleasant to hear, okay? So I'm not automatically saying that it applies to all of you, but just in case, give my words a chance and then take it or leave it. But if you're really, really triggered, it might be a sign that it's touching something that is there. Okay, you can't be triggered by someone pressing a button that isn't there. If the button is there, it can be pressed. Anyway, so what happens when you don't operate from connectivity to your heart? You go even further into the mind. And then, yes, it has its standard, intelligent, wise aspects that you will have anyway if you also incorporate the heart. But what you won't have if you incorporate the heart is thus: spitefulness. Take a breath. Jealousy. Take a breath. Vengeance. Vengeance. Cruelty. Manipulation. And as I'm saying these words, I feel some of your heart sinks. Don't deny what your heart is going through right now. That's exactly the point. Whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, whether we speak of your beauty or of your challenge, allow your heart to respond. If you receive compliments because you're gorgeous and brilliant, allow your heart to be joyous, okay? And if you're facing a possible reflection that is uncomfortable, allow your heart to sink. And take another breath. Because here's the thing, Gemini. When you are integrated between the two dualities within you, when you incorporate the heart is the thing that integrates your two brain lobes and your two aspects. The heart, not anything else. Not them making a discussion and arriving to conclusions and then, okay, it's settled. No. There's a third party, the heart, that is the diplomat, that is the therapist in the room, that helps bring another element that allows flow and integration between the different sides in you. Because every sign has shadows. Of course, every sign can go into a default of a shadow. But the extra challenge for you is in your light aspect. Before we even go to the shadow, there's already the duality. Right? We know the duality of yin, yang, light, dark, etc. Subconscious, conscious, subconscious. For you to all of these things, you also have above here that split. That if the heart is not meddling and helping and incorporating itself, then that can sink down and create more shadow aspects. Now, how come you don't work on it? The reason a lot of you don't work on it, or sometimes unaware of it, is because you tend to gaslight yourself and deflect that aspect within you. It's like, oh, that's not a problem, that's not a challenge, that's not an issue, that doesn't need work. You just don't accept me as I am. You just don't see the complex beauty in me. You're just judgmental, and you just don't get me and won't accept me. You can't contain me. This is my complexity. This is my beauty. Now, all that doesn't take away from complexity is beautiful. And we're all complex, and we all have different sides to us. And personality can and should be versatile. You're not expected to be 1, 2, or 10 things. You can be anything you can and wish to be. But the aspects of character, or should I say behavior, that I've said earlier, When you behave like that towards people and then they call you out on it or resist or challenge you, instead of taking it in and listen and see how much you hurt them, you avoid dealing with it and acknowledging it by telling yourself that it's your uniqueness. There's nothing wrong with being unique. Quite the opposite. You have every potential to be unique because you are by nature unique. But those things aren't the things that make you unique, Gemini. Why am I saying this to you? Well, we're progressing. We're getting further and further ahead. You can't take that with you. You can't take vengeance and cruelty and spitefulness and jealousy and conniving into your beautiful, versatile character. It's not going to do you good. It definitely won't allow you to progress. And I do want to see you progress as you can, because the Geminis who are managed to integrate their aspects. Some of the greatest spiritual gurus are Geminis. Brilliant writers, creators, leaders, teachers. As big as the challenge, also as the big reward when you overcome it. You know, the Lover's card in the tarot represents the Gemini, but it doesn't actually represent most Gemini people. It represents the spiritual purpose of a Gemini person, to achieve one path that is true to the heart and is integrated. The Lovers doesn't speak of the mind and doesn't speak of duality. It is in its dark shadow aspect or in the reversal. But a reader that keeps telling you that Lovers in the upright is deflective and betrayal and untrustworthy, that's a reader that taps into those negative aspects of Gemini energy. But the enlightened, true, positive, good aspect of a Gemini duality is when it's integrated and is love. When the mind is love and the heart thinks. All the major arcanas, by the way, they don't really represent people by the sign as much as the sign's spiritual. So it can represent a person that is a Gemini or the hermit be a Virgo, etc. When that person has reached a mastery of the energy of their sign. We're not there yet as society where we can say that about most people. Yeah, if you really want to know how to read tarot deeply, properly, check out my Tarot Masterclass. Boom, crack. Now, I know that I may have lost a few of you or may lose a few of you because of this. You're welcome to return when you feel ready. I understand this was not fun. But here's the fun part. When those of you who need to take this in and work with it and work on it rather than resisting it and start operating with your heart, leading these two horses, that's when magic will start happening in your life. And for those of you that I will help do that, or kind of give a healthy nudge towards there, even if it's not fun to hear, and even if at the expense of losing some subscribers, worth it. This is about expansion. You expand, I expand. You expand, people around you expand. Your relationships and better. You become happier. And we're approaching your season, so happy early birthday to Gemini. This is still readings for May, but still. And this applies always. If you're tuning in, whenever you're watching this. And all my readings, you can watch all of my readings regardless of the signs. I always incorporate spiritual guidance. Anyway, for those of you that are still here, or not, but at least we'll take this with you and possibly work on it. I'm hoping that that's what it's for, and you know, I'm saying it with love, because every time you act upon that aspect of vengeance and cruelty and spitefulness, you create more karma for yourself. Nine of Wands, take a breath. Spiritual warrior, take a breath. Spiritual warrior, take a breath, spiritual warrior. Being a spiritual warrior can be gut-wrenching. Yes, there are readers out there that are feel good. I'm not saying it in any sort of disrespect. It's important to feel good. I like to often make you feel good. But sometimes it doesn't feel good. Spirituality is truth. Truth has no affiliation to compliment or so-called insult, except for in the way it is expressed. And I hope I've expressed this message with the level of compassion that I hope you know I have. And admiration. I truly want to see you on that guru mountain. Boy, it can be hard. It can feel like battle. And Nine of Wands says, hold on, you got this. Yes, you can. You would not be here listening to this or going through anything really if it wasn't something that you can turn into healing and magic. You have the power to transmute everything. You have eyes here and you have eyes here. It's a lot of power. That's a superpower. As long as you don't turn it into villain. Okay. Point is across. All right. Let's continue. For those of you who stayed. Even if you paused and came back to this reading a while later, that's okay. You were told these things before, or were insinuated, or maybe you were never told. It's time though. It's time. You want to be a healer? You want to be a teacher? Energy will not allow you to get there as long as you have those aspects. It will keep you at a certain level. Not just for the sake of people around you, for the sake of you, to avoid, you know, having more and more of that karma. You can be sometimes serious and sometimes silly. That's the beauty of your complexity. That's the type of duality and complexity that you can have. And when it comes to being cruel, when we really have to, survival. Survival, yes. Yes. Take out these claws. Use that brain. Make it work. But not competition. And not jealousy. Not for those things. And look at what we have. 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Wands and then 9 of Pentacles. Look at how abundant you can be. You are already, by essence. You have so much knowledge. You have so much skill. You have this fairy-like look. You're beautiful. As you are. Unique as you are. You have a beautiful sense of style. Page of Swords, hey, and the Empress. You see this duality that we keep getting? Are you this or are you that? Because the Empress, if you remember Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones, she doesn't need to turn into this in order to burn her enemies. When you operate from a mindset of abundance, of have, of fertile ground, there is no need for the rest. The ground will bury the rotten fruit and flourish the good seeds. I see some of you right now, regardless, let's put this behind us and let's just go into the reading. I see some of you right now this month, surface level, not superficial level, but like more in the exterior, what is seen. Abundance, success, beauty, achievements, all of that. But behind the scenes, something is going on. There's another layer to your life right now, to your daily life right now. There's planning, there's strategy. Now this is now separate from the intro. Maybe it relates, for those of you that it relate, and it will make you kind of put your arms down and stop. Great. For those of you who tell me, no, Morgane, this is serious, I have to do this. This is where you said that I need to take out my claws and weapons. Okay, great. Good. You know your life better than I do. Okay? It's important that you just be honest with yourself, that's all. Anyway, so right now there's those two layers. It's like the palace above ground and then the maze underground. Escape route. I think some of you are putting up a face of everything is okay, business as usual, but you're planning a way out from something to get you somewhere better, safer, I'm hearing. Okay. You're learning to incorporate words that are kind. Six of Swords. I also see someone who's doing really well, who's looking really beautiful and very abundant and things happening well for them, and someone kind of behind the scenes doesn't like it and wants to see them. Now, which one you are, it could be any of these two. If you're a cross watcher, you put yourself in the narrative, okay? Six of Swords. Yeah, you're planning an escape route of some sort I'm picking up on. But you know what you need to do. This is not... You know where you're going and you know how. Seven of Coins. You want to invest in your future somehow. So you're considering where you stand right now, where your life is right now, and you're like, okay, if I want to get from this point to that point, I can't stay in this. I need to... It's like big picture type of thinking. I hate to say this, but for example, you might be in a relationship with someone whom you feel you can't build an empire with. You care about them, you love them, they're awesome from this and that, but you feel it's not your Clyde to the Bonnie or Bonnie to the Clyde, ride or die kind of thing. You need someone you can, whatever, build worlds with. It could be also as simple as a job. Apply it however. But you are adamant on investing in your future and aligning your environment with this vision. Justice. Some of you want to bring something to justice. Some of you want justice. Now, is it legitimate justice, true justice, or not? That depends on you and your story. But I'm reflecting your want right now. Keep in mind, when the Justice card comes out, it means, in the upright, it means justice will be served to the just side. So if it will be to your benefit or not, that depends on whether spirit, universe, court, apply the relevant, agrees. So if you are planning something, sit with yourself very, very carefully for some time. Weigh all, consider all the aspects of it. Be honest with yourself and your part of it. And if you're absolutely convinced that you're in the right, okay. And that it's necessary, okay. But if not, I do recommend to take a breath and maybe wait, because it might backfire. The Empress here will absolutely win. So if it's you, it's you. If it's the other person, it's the other person. Eight of Cups. I see you walking away from something towards mid-month and on, or possibly between mid to end of month. Deciding to walk away from something. That you used to hold on to for a while. Could be a conviction, could be a place, could be a relationship. And truth just kind of hits. It might come in the new moon, in Taurus's new moon, because it's May 11th and the Justice card is 11. So, and here we have a card that can represent Taurus energy. I think something mid-month and on, there's going to be some sort of an acknowledgement and then a letting go. Show me more, please, for Gemini, for May, for this coming month. Don't cry. Some of you are getting really emotional. Emperor to the Empress. There is something so much bigger out there for you, Gemini. So I actually feel that it needs to be like that, facing one another. So much bigger. So much higher vibe. Someone who does see the unique aspects in you. Why? Because you allowed them. You made room for them to actually see you, as opposed to being covered with shadow aspects of you that are only enabled because you block your heart. Rewind, listen to that again. There's a level of leadership that you are guided to take now, and there's no room for bullshit, not even yours. Anything else before we move on to love life? Anything else for Gemini for this coming month? Ooh, okay. Boom. 6 of Wands and King of Swords. When you tap into Libra energy, these two, which is actual justice, it weighs the scales. It doesn't bring forth one scale and what it wants versus then bringing forth the mood of the other scale versus and what it wants. No. Both scale at once on the same leg. Once you tap into that energy, there is no stopping your wins. People will follow you. Not because you say the smartest thing or know the latest technology, but because your heart echoes unity consciousness. Once you manage through everything we spoke about in this reading, you'll be more clients, more lovers, more subscribers, I don't know, whatever, however it applies. More money, more projects, more sales. Spirit will want your words to echo broader. Incorporate the heart, okay? You need love. Some of you, I need to say this to you. If some of you are like, oh, I'm just taking care of myself, self-love. I buy myself flowers. Okay, I bought these flowers for myself, but not because I'm under the delusion that it shouldn't be a man buying those flowers for me. I bought them regardless. It wasn't in any way of covering for the fact that a man didn't buy them for me, so I'm going to buy them for me. I'm going to be my own knight in shining armor. No, you're not going to be your own knight in shining armor. He needs to get his butt off the couch and go get you some flowers and chocolates or whatever it is that you like and show you effort and show you love. If you get yourself flowers, it's because you like flowers, and it's regardless of romance. Stop filling up the position of other people unless you don't want to have any other people in your life at all. Okay, you're a monk, you're a nun, okay, great, move to the mountain. No, I'm not going to judge you. That's perfectly legitimate. But as long as you're not doing that, don't you give me that. That's one of the most toxic things with so-called hoo-ha, so-called spirituality, toxic spirituality, escapism spirituality that exists today. Annoying as F. Not true. No. Okay, gender, it's not about gender. Let her buy you flowers. I don't know. You're getting the point. Don't make it about something else. You're getting what I'm trying to say. You want relationship? It needs relation, not you relating to yourself. Yes, integrate within yourself all the conversation, everything we said. Yeah, okay. But on romance level, relation. So this is the guidance that I got now to give you. Some of the thing that will help you get to that place of incorporating your heart is waking up your heart and surrendering to romance, to someone, to surrender. You didn't like this conversation at all. 33 minutes, 33 seconds now, boom, where you're like, again, I want to kill you. You want to throw things at me. You can't because we're talking through a screen. What you gonna do? Speaking of love, let's look. And 2 6s, 2 9s, 7 8. Emperor, Empress, Justice, that's how it came. King of Swords, Page of Swords, okay? This is either a growing up, a growth process of maturization. This could be a masculine going from teenager to a man. This could be a father-son energy. There are parents here. There is possible marriage. 2 6s, 2 9s. Yeah, there is something with family nest coming up. One of the individuals that either is or is guided to become. Okay? one of the individuals within this either partnership or potential partnership is someone that possibly travels and or is in a leadership position of some sort, that fights for something, or this is a very, it's like an ultra independent personality. This is someone that has seen the world, well traveled, well educated. I would not be surprised if it's you. Okay. Let's look into love. Let's see what happens between this Empress and this Emperor. I'm going to do a double pentagram spread. We'll look into you and your person of interest for this coming month, please. You will find the links below. Link to Vimeo, link to Patreon. The extendeds will be there. But on Patreon, you have all of them for unlimited streaming. Put your energy and your person in this. Thank you. Continue. You'll find them all for unlimited streaming. Not for just this month, but for past months. And you'll have other VIP content. Runes, Lunar Spirit, Karmic Shift and Liberation. Check it out. Check Patreon out. But you still have it available on Vimeo for unlimited. No, sorry. On Vimeo for separate purchasing. Okay? Great. Spiritual homework for this coming month for you are the major arcanas that came out. The Empress, the Emperor, and Justice. I will link the classes from my Tarot Masterclass to those cards below. Now love. Breathe, Gemini. It's going to be okay. I've been annoying today, but please, I hope you saw the love in it. Gemini and their person. Love for Gemini and their person for this coming month, please. Okay. I'm going to start talking a little bit so you can see if it jives and if you want to continue with me. Okay? And I'm going to pull out runes as well. All right, we ready? Mind, hearts, actions, where you feel you stand, influences outside your dynamic, past, present, future potential. This is you, this is your person. Although if this sounds like you and this sounds like your person, you may reverse the roles. Let's begin. Ooh, 2 of Wands in your mind and communication. You want to learn, you want to try, you want to learn. The person, 5 of Pentacles, they're like, I have nothing to give, I have nothing to say. Negativity, feeling at a loss. They feel like, they think they have nothing to give you. And you're like, well, I'm trying to learn about you, or I'm trying to read you, and they're like, no, it's not, you know. For some of you, they're telling you that it's over. If that's not the case and that's not what you're told, and this is a matter of your person feeling in a lack consciousness, then you're trying to get to know them and understand how to approach them. Also, they might be coming from a very difficult background. They may have been homeless, they may have been an addict, they may have been abused somehow. They may be an orphan, and so on, something there. Now, this is a lot to say and assume based on one card, okay? But you do see potential and possibility for growth. So I'll keep opening the cards and we'll see where it goes and what is really happening. Runes for Gemini for love for this coming month, please. A lot of runes, okay. Galas. Tir in the reverse. And he was laying down. And Sus in the reverse. Now this. Okay. I'm going to continue this and we're going to talk about all of this. I hope to see you there. If not, all good. I love you anyway. Thank you for continuing until now. I'm very, very proud of you guys. I am. And the only reason I did that is because I believe in you and I know you can, and because I love you and I believe you are smart enough to understand what I'm trying to say.